As you saw in the title, I'm going to beat Silksong without Clawline. Now, before we get to the main video, I will lay down some ground rules. 1. No Clawline. 2. There won't be any major glitches. For example, can't use something such as room duplication, where I can get to Grandmother Silk from the Coral Chambers Bellway. Now that all the rules are out of the way, let's begin the video. There really isn't anything you can talk about in Act 1, since you get Clawline in Act 2. But there are still a few things we need to get in Act 1. The first thing we need to do is bind Widow. Now that we have beaten Widow, and we have the Nidolin, we can unlock these doors that have tools we need to beat this challenge. The first thing I'm getting is the Silk Speed Anklets. These will make a skip we need to do in the Wormways a little easier. The second thing we need to get is the Reaper's Crest. This will be needed for the hardest part of the challenge, which I will explain about later. Finally, after all of that, we need 500 rosaries to get into the Wormways.
So it's farming time.
The skip we have to do in the Wormways requires me to sprint, jump, dash, bind, then activate my cloak. And since I am a god gamer, I did it first try. Anyway, after you get past the door, the rest of the parkour is easy. So why do I need these things for this challenge? Well, it's for the hardest part of the challenge, but also what makes this challenge possible. Act 1 Mount Fae. But wait, I do recommend to get some upgrades before we do Act 1 Mount Fae. These upgrades include 6 masks, multi-binder, which means to do some quests to get rosaries, so now that we have enough rosaries for multi-binder, we can finally do Act 1, Mount Fae. Now that we're done with Act 1 Mount Fae, I went to defeat the last judge. And honestly, Act 2 was paradise compared to the hell that Act 1 Mount Fae was. I even got to skip the underworks by using double jump to get on the scale. And you know how it goes. I explore empty coral chambers. Then I have a civil conversation with Lace. And after that, I explore coral chambers like normal, 1v1ing every single bug I can find. Then I humble the cogwork dancers. go to Trobio, and I humbled him. Then I get the first melody without ever using Clawline. So I decided to go up into Sonclave and do some quests. Then I did those quests. Then I went to High Halls and well, just take a look at this footage. So yeah, as you can see, you cannot beat Silksong without Clawline. That doesn't mean that this is the end of the video though. Instead, we will see how many Clawline uses are needed to beat Silksong. Luckily, this room doesn't require a Clawline use after a use of the Sharp Dart, and with some pogoing on enemies. The room I was stuck on earlier only required one use of Clawline after some careful use of the Sharp Dart. This room didn't require any uses of Clawline. And after somewhat difficult platforming, this room doesn't need Clawline. This room only requires one use of Clawline to get up the water wall. Then there is this room which, just take a look. So, yeah, there were 3 Clawline uses in that room. I took out my anger on the bugs in the High Halls Gauntlet. Then I acquired the second melody. I went to get to the top of the Cogwork core, and I needed to use Clawline. In this room, you might think that it needs Clawline, but after very difficult platforming it is possible. Take a look. This was it. I finally got to Lace, and well, we had a legendary battle without Clawline, but she was no match for the legendary Sharp Dart. Then I took out Grandmother Silk, and now, we are back in the beginning of the video. So is this challenge possible? No, but it was still fun regardless, and it actually took me less uses than I expected going into this. And maybe someone might do a run of this challenge because of this video and get less than 6 uses. But anyway, that is the end of this video, and I hope you enjoy. Bye.